And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the show that is still going strong despite the Black Friday after traffic, only known as Music Village. And if you don't believe me about it, folks, let's just say that there's so many cars traveling outside right now, it could double over as a Talladega racetrack. And I kid you not, I'm serious when I say this. Even though the maestro's laughing, he's outside and about to get a checkered flag to flag over some of the cars. Not a good idea, maestro, don't do that. But besides us turning our makeshift thoroughfare around Music Village headquarters into the Indy 500, I'm looking at my watch right now. Oh, it's just about that time. It's the witching hour, which means it's time for us to be brought up to speed from news stories from this week from, you guessed it, all around the world. And I'm still hoping for Scott Clark to somehow make his way here, or at least via satellite, a part of Music Village. Still my wish has always been for the past 7 years, maybe even longer than that. But besides that wish that I hope comes true one day, in our first news story, and in music cover news stories, for you fans out there of Billie Eilish and always wanted to hear a metal version of Therefore I Am, well, Frog Leap Studios will be able to answer your request for this week by providing us with a metal cover of that song, not only providing drum beats, but also a heavy metal sound to a classic Billie Eilish song. And in my opinion, the fact that he was able to pull this off all in a very dark lit room, not half bad. Not half bad at all. And here's hoping in the near future he can do a cover metal style of Missy Elliott's I Can't Stand the Rain. Yeah, you know, I always wondered if somebody can pull it off, and I got a feeling Frog Leap Studios can do it. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out the musical metal cover from Frog Leap Studios for this week for yourselves, you can head on over to the YouTube page of only one man, only known as Frog Leap Studios, to check it out for yourselves. Along with a couple of other cool metal covers that I got a feeling you'll love once you head over there. And in other metal music cover news, for you OHP fans out there wondering what he has up next up his sleeve, it looks like he did a cover of the classic song from The Verve known as The Drugs Don't Work. And yeah, another beautiful cover by OHP, and the fact that he was able to lead in with a cool acoustic guitar before it going into the heavy metal, definitely a nice touch in my book. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out this cool metal cover that is also in a dark lit room with plenty of headbanging action, you can go ahead and check it out on the YouTube page of one man only known as OHP to check it out for yourself. And in other news, and apparently since we're on music cover news this week, we might as well keep the trend. Because fresh out of the vaults from out of nowhere, folks, it looks like Eddie Van Halen, who worked with 90s keyboardist David Garfield, would be able to do a cover of the classic song of Jimi Hendrix of If 6 Was 9. And if you're wondering out there, Eddie Van Halen would put his own special magic into this song, all the while Garfield, or David Garfield, would be able to add his keyboard part in his Mad Hatter Studios in Los Angeles, all while Eddie Van Halen would record overdubs in his 5150 studio. And they would go on record by saying the following, mostly David Garfield saying, "I went up to his house to work on the tracks with him, and he was cool." And would go on further by saying, "We bonded as keyboard players too. We continued to stay in touch, and often he would call me out of the blue asking for help with his keyboard related stuff. I even found a guy to travel with him on tour and play additional parts off stage, as well as be his keyboard tech." Not bad. Not bad at all. And for any of you out there who wants to listen to this classic song of Jimi Hendrix rebirthed and remixed by Eddie Van Halen himself, you can head on over to the Consequences of Sound.net page, only known as Consequences of Sound.net, to check it out for yourself. Or head on over to the SoundCloud page of one man known as Creechy Records to check it out over there too. And trust me, folks, when I say this, Eddie Van Halen definitely added his perfect magic of guitar work during this said song. In my opinion, at least. And I guess with all those regular news stories out of the way for this week, may they be cover news or not of cool songs, you guys out there know what time it is. It's time for us to go into a very special Black Friday edition of Video Game News. And in our first video game news story, and an exciting news for you Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed fans out there. After weeks of petitioning and weeks of trying to get onto the main stage of G4, it looks like mission accomplished for Xavier Woods, because during the G4 Gravy-thon, he would find out that he would be an official host for G4 in the near future. And we here at Music Village would like to say on behalf of Xavier Woods, congratulations, nobody better deserves it. And yeah, I can't wait to see what sort of magic you bring to the world of G4. Also hoping for a new episode of X-Play real soon in the near future too. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out Xavier Woods' reaction of becoming the new host for G4, along with the G4 Gravy-thon that would take place for the charity stream for this year, you can head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as Up Up Down Down to check it out for yourself. And in other news, and more or less free PS Plus game news for December. For you fans out there who's been wondering what game is coming down the tubes next for PS Plus, especially for you PS4 fans out there, I have some good news for you. For any of you out there who always wanted to take a free ride of destruction in the world of Just Cause 4, that's one of the free games. And the other free game has been announced is none other than Worms Rumble and Rocket Arena. And in my opinion, seeing the fact that I've never truly played a Worms game, I can't wait to get my hands on that. And on the other side of the fence, seeing the fact that earlier this year I already beaten Just Cause 3, I can't wait to see what Rico Suave got cooking up the tubes for Just Cause 4. And for those who are waiting and chomping at the bit for both of these games, they will be available for the PS Plus network as of December 1st of this year. So the first of the month, new games. Nice! And in other news, and more or less Grand Theft Auto news. For you fans out there looking to get some extra cash from Deadline or King of the Hill, this week is your week, because it's been announced there will be triple rewards for both of these game modes, and alongside with it, you will get double the rewards for all open wheel races for this week, along with a free t-shirt from the Nagasaki Tea Company, giving you an absolutely free t-shirt. And to make things even better, folks, it doesn't end there, because on the wheel for this week, for those who are looking to get their own race cars, you will be able to get the Benefactor BR8 that will be exclusively available on the Lucky Wheel for this week all the way up until December 9th. And alongside with that, folks, you can also get these following vehicles on Black Friday sale prices as of right now-ish. And the sales are as follows. Because not only for 60% off, you can get these following vehicles along the lines of the Scramjet, the Ruiner 2000, the Stromberg, and even the Devastate 8. But you can also get for 70% off the Shirato, the Terabyte, and all its upgrades. And for 50% off for Black Friday for the next couple of days, you can get the Oppressor Mark 1 and 2 for 50% off, and even get the Bambushka for 70% off, along with the B-11 Strike Force, the Buckingham Luxor, the Luxor Deluxe, and even the Buckingham Swift, along with the Flying Bravo at 70%, along with the Buckingham Swift Deluxe, all at 70% off. And these sales are available for a limited time only until November 30th. That is until the end of the month, folks, so don't burn daylight if you always wanted to look rich and fancy in the world of Grand Theft Auto at a reasonable price. And along with all of those sales, folks, you still get 30% off of large cargo warehouses, 40% off on all garages, 40% off on even the NSRE 7B, and even a smooth 30% off on the race car of choice of the Ocelot R88. So yeah, Rockstar really cranking out the sales for this week, and to make things even better, folks, nightclubs and the repairs are 40 to 30% off for this week, along with a litany list of other great vehicles. But before we reveal any of those other prices, starting next month for you Red Dead Online fans, you will be able to get Red Dead Online as a standalone game for the Epic Games Store and even the Steam Store for $5. And for the PlayStation, Microsoft stores, we'll be able to have a set price for it as well. And I, for one, who always wanted to play Red Dead Online, may jump on this opportunity. But just to let a couple of you fans out there know, it's only available until February 15th of 2021. So don't burn daylight on that deal as well. And with all those incredible deals from Rockstar Games out of the way, folks, if you guys and gals out there want to check those deals out for yourselves, you can head on over to not only the Game Informer page, only known as GameInformer.com, but you can also head on over to the event page on their Rockstar Games page, only known as RockstarGames.com, under the Newswire, to check it out for yourselves. And I guess with that said, and with all those great deals and news stories out of the way for this week, you have all officially been brought up to speed. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back to this music, and when we return, we'll be back with the final segment for Music Village for this week, right after this. So don't wear your horns out in traffic just yet, folks, and stay tuned.